This video will show you how to replace the front inside fender liner on a Mazda 3. This will be located inside of your front fender. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. The first thing we have to do is safely raise and support the front of the vehicle so the wheel's off the ground. Once you've completed that, you're going to remove all 5 of your 21mm lug nuts and the wheel. Now that we have the wheel out of the way, we have a clear look at our inside fender liner. Let's start underneath the front bumper cover. Now from under this area, we're starting along the front corner of the bumper cover here. This is where we can see that we have an 8mm headed bolt. As we make our way across this small air diverter, you're going to have several push clips. I'm using a trim tool for each of my push clips. For your push clips, you start dislodging the center to unlock it, and then the rest of it should pop out of place as well. The next one's going to be on the rearward side of this, right up in this corner. Same process for this one. Now we can take hold of this. We're going to start pulling it down and sliding it inward. It should slide out of place. There we are. Up along the top here, we have our 2 locking hooks, and you can see exactly where those go. Now we'll continue forward. We have 2 more of those 8mm headed bolts. Now that we have both of those bolts out of there, there's going to be another one tucked up in behind this shield. To help dislodge this and gain access, I'm making my way to this 10mm bolt here, and then you're going to find another one inside of this port right along here. Let's remove the pair. Now we should be able to take hold of this and pull it down far enough that we can gain access in this area. You don't have to fully remove this shield. This is where we can see that we have an 8mm headed bolt. Now we can take hold of this and pull it down. Now we can see that we do have more push clips making their way up the fender liner here. We're just continuing on using our trim tool. Make our way inboard a little bit here. Further in. Let's go straight up here. Got another one. There's that. Now we're coming outward again. Now we have a lot of movement here. I'm going to pause along the center here, and we'll make our way down along the rear bottom for the next push clip. Still using our trim tool. Get that out of there. We can take hold of this. We'll give it a wiggle. Now that we have that lower push pin out of there, we're inside the wheel well here, and we're going to make our way up along the outside. This one's tucked up in this corner here. Now we do still have several more to gain access to down in this area. Come down along the center. And now down along the inboard side. We'll start from the bottom and make our way up. Now we're moving up from there. We have 2 more push clips. There's one right along here, and then the last one's in the center. That's the last thing holding this in place. Now we can take hold of this and we'll pull it out of place. There it is, friend. Now we can install our brand new inside fender liner. See right in the center? Let's install that first push pin that's going to hold this in place while we continue on. Now we're just going to tuck this outboard upper portion in and behind the fender lip. And now we can make our way down along the fender with our push clips, installing everything along the way. Let's make our way along the outside first. Just pressing that in. At this point, you should be able to stretch this as necessary. We'll get everything aligned as we continue on. I'm just going to put the push pin through this port first. And now I can bring it through the port in the fender as well. Push push that behind there. Move this around as necessary. We'll just get this lined up just like before. You can slide it through first and then through the fender itself. We've got our next one here. Just going to slide that through. Now up in the center area here, we can continue on. And up along the top on the inboard side, we'll continue on by making our way all the way down towards the bottom. Now we're coming down. We have two more on our way down towards that bottom one. Let's make our way underneath here for the last one on the rear. Let's go ahead and line that up, press that in as well. Now that we have that lower rearward clip in, let's make our way back towards the front. We're on the inside of the fender well again. Now inside the fender well, let's put this push pin through here. We'll get this aligned with our fender just as before and lock it down. We'll continue on. You can tuck this in as necessary. Put this next one in here. Down along the far bottom corner. Up into the forward center. Now up along the top on the inboard side. Make our way down. And now we can make our way all the way down along the bottom corner of the bumper cover next. Before we install any hardware and press this into position, let's talk about this small air diverter. During the removal process, I had mentioned that we have these plastic hooks. Those are going to fit into these rectangular slots, and then we're going to press it over. You can see right here, we have grooves. Once it's locked in, we'll continue on by holding this in position with its mounting hardware. Start bringing this up here. We'll flex everything as necessary so we can get it in position. There we are. Now we have that in place. Let's get our mounting bolts in right along here so we can hold that in, and we'll continue on. Now let's pause on that air diverter for a second, and we're going down in this area. We should be able to get our 8mm headed bolt in there. Now we're right in this area. We should be able to flex this enough that we can bring it up and over the rearward shield. Pull down on that. We have our two 10mm bolts. Start them in and snug them up. Now the forward aspect of that splash shield, we can get our 8mm headed bolts in. This next one. And now back to our air diverter. Now for these push clips, you may find as you start pressing them in, it lifts up on the fender liner. You could use an angled pick. I'm going to go up and above that diverter. I'm pulling down on the fender liner while I insert my push clip. Let's get the next one there. Just pulling this down, line it up, lock it in. There's these two. Now we can make our way on the other side. We have one more push clip in this area. Just gonna pull down on this. Now let's make our way back into the wheel well, and we can prepare to install our front wheel. Once you have your wheel in place, start on all 5 of your 21mm lug nuts. Bottom them out, we'll get the wheel safely on the ground and torque each of them to 100 foot-pounds. Now we have the wheel safely on the ground, we're going to be torquing these in a crisscross manner to that 100 foot-pounds. Torqued. Okay friend, we finished the installation of our front inside fender liner. The next thing you want to do is take your vehicle for a road test and listen for any odd noises coming from this area. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.